Newsfirst, NewsLine with Faraz, Shauketaly.
And a very good morning to you. This is NewsLine, live from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo, and which is broadcasting on TV1, part of the Capital Maharaj Group. The location of our studios is also one of the collection points where you can make your donations for the drought relief. Amongst another three centres, which is at the Stein Studios in Ratmalana, the Harrison Building in Dali Road, and of course the Department Studios in Panipitya. That's the studio that was bombed some time ago. On that note, it's time to introduce our guest this morning. Of course, no stranger to the network, the inimitable legal personality, Mr. Hemantha Warnakulasuriya. Very good morning to you, Mr.
Very good morning, Faraz.
And today is the day that we have one President of the United States leaving, and the inauguration in several hours' time of the 45th President of the United States of America, Donald Trump. We want to play you a little clip of the outgoing president, and that will set the theme for our discussion this morning.
When trust in our institutions is low, we should reduce the corrosive influence of money in our politics and insist on the principles of transparency and ethics in public service. When Congress is dysfunctional, we should draw our congressional districts to encourage politicians to cater to common sense and not rigid extremes. But remember, none of this happens on its own. All of this depends on our participation, on each of us accepting the responsibility of citizenship, regardless of which way the pendulum of power happens to be swinging. Our Constitution is a remarkable, beautiful gift. But it's really just a piece of parchment. It has no power on its own. We, the people, give it power. We, the people, give it meaning with our participation and with the choices that we make.
And he went on to say, regardless of which way the pendulum of power swings, the Constitution is merely a parchment until the people participate and give it life. And on that note, you know, the outgoing president spoke of the corrosive influence of money in our politics. And he also spoke about the participation of the people. And when trust in our institutions is low, he went on to talk about the people should insist on the principles of transparency and ethics in public service. All of this seems to have gone down the wayside in this brilliant democracy of ours, Mr. Warnakulasuriya. We have got the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka ordering the editor of a yellow type of journalistic website, Lanka e-News, to be present in court in Sri Lanka on the 3rd of March. What prompted you to take such virtually drastic steps?
For a number of years, I was trained as a member of the Bar Association, very active member, secretary of the Bar Association one time, and the deputy president of the Bar Association. I was pained by the scurrilous, continuous attacks on our judiciary. For us, I believe this is a systematic thing which is done by the NGO lobby in this country to attack the judiciary. Judiciary, whether the judges are appointed like in America by Mahinda Rajapaksa or Maithripala Sirisena or Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga, once they ascended the bench, they have been completely independent except for one or two. Now this systematic attack was to bring the esteem of the people to the ground level, and the corrosive influence of money, as Obama said, and where the money was the root cause of all this gutter press foundation. It is very.
It makes the matter even more unacceptable when we look at that website and we find that there are state institutions who are advertising on there. We believe, I suppose, it's in exchange for money.
Yeah. Now this is a very strange thing. Some said that this is the official organ of the UNP. If that is so, I think no one should join the UNP and become party, because this website was used to attack not only politicians in the SLFP or the Rajapaksa regime, but the UNP. It continuously attacked the president, so that it clearly shows the agenda of the UNP is to bring down or destabilize His Excellency Maithripala Sirisena, to whom these people repose their confidence and voted.
But this website seems to be a real mud churner.
Yeah. This is what the people in Sri Lanka, unfortunately, loves mud. Loves to see people being assassinated.
But the point is, this chap who purports to be the editor of an outfit called Lanka E-News, Sandaruwan Senadira, he is far from being a champion of democracy.
Absolutely not. He is not a champion of democracy, he's a champion of dictatorship. He is a man who wants to throw mud at a judge who makes an independent decision. The decision, according to him, ought to be the decision that the UNP or the party to whom he is supporting. Now, a classic example is that how he turned for money his attitude towards avant-garde. Now, we all at that time was very angry with the government, with the Attorney General, for not having arrested the avant-garde people. And then this E-News carried a series of articles giving details about the corrupt activities of avant-garde. Then, overnight, suddenly, when the Attorney General decided there was no case to be filed against the people under the...
That itself was contentious.
No, that's contentious. But when the Attorney General made the opinion, he completely changed his position and started defending avant-garde. So obviously, as General Sarath Fonseca said, he was supported by the newspaper, but then they wanted money. So this is another method of extorting money, threatening people with some repute.
But what business is it? Who can articulate properly as to what good would come out of the National Lottery's board advertising on a website that is not registered in this country, doesn't pay any dues in this country, is not accountable under this country's law, and hides behind anonymity offered by .com services, and is based abroad. And so, which market is the National Lottery's board targeting, for heaven's sake?
Absolutely true. Now, this is a matter in which the President must intervene. President intervened and prevented the sweep to be brought down from 30 rupees to 20 rupees. And here is a website that is being used to attack members of this government. They were on the judiciary, and they attacked not only the president, his family, daughter, his son, and also his brother-in-law. And various other persons. So naturally, if one feels that the National Lotteries Board is funding this newspaper, that they are instrumental in making this attack. So where is the cabinet responsibility? And how can, as you say, how can the National Lottery Board fund this kind of newspaper? So it is up to the president of this country to take immediate steps to ensure that this funding stops. And now the Supreme Court, in fact, I was telling this story, every day I see judges before whom I practiced, before whom I made my submissions, and I know they are very honorable people, except very few. The others were pained by the attack. They were called thieves. Vinisura, Vinisura was turned to Vinisura, and they were called thieves. And then the impression of the people, they read these things that we go before the judiciary, we take our grievances, we retain lawyers, and the judge is a rogue.
This program this morning, and obviously the topic this morning, has aroused the conscience of our listeners, our viewers. I have one here, one of several. Yeah. Most of the websites today are sponsored by leading political figures of the government.
Yeah.
They exaggerated and distorted the situation to come to power by using these websites. And now these website owners have become extortionists, demanding ransoms not to publish news. What is your view on how this can be curbed?
Yeah. Now, in fact, the President has appointed a special task force or a special committee to go into, headed by Mr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa, Minister of Justice, to frame regulations. In fact, I believe the regulations that are there under the Computer Crimes Ordinance is sufficient to lodge a complaint against Andarwan Senadira in the local courts.
Now, it says in various reports, if we let's get down to the mechanics, the Supreme Court has obviously made its order and asked him to be present in court on the 3rd of March this year. But some reports say that in court itself it says that he's living in England.
Yeah.
Presumably outside of the reach of the Sri Lankan law.
Yeah.
Do we know which kind of passport he has?
I believe he went to England a few months before his place was attacked. Then he claimed refugee status. And some say that he on his own got this attack orchestrated so that he can strengthen his case for the refugee status. And then thereafter he is living with his wife and children as a refugee. And even the Criminal Investigation Department, on another case, strived to find out his address. They failed. So therefore, the Supreme Court, in wisdom, ordered that the notices be first served on his last known address in Sri Lanka to the registrar, which will be done. And if he is not there, if he doesn't respond, then the Supreme Court will have to frame rules or have to take a decision. Because I believe this situation never arose when the Supreme Court even drafted their rules. Because this situation where the Supreme Court judges and the other judges are sitting, the entire system of judiciary is being hammered, it's been attacked. It is like in the olden days, you're courted and your body parts
drawn and quartered.
Yeah, your body parts are hung on the four walls of the city. The judges have no character. You and I have no character. Our character can be tarnished overnight. Now, don't we have a remedy? Can anyone come and claim that I'm a rogue, or I'm this, or I'm that? Can't I go up? Then the whole problem is our laws are so archaic, so anachronistic, behind the times. With the advent of social media, with the advent of new methods, we are far behind even India. In India, four states have their own, with their bylaws, have prevented this kind of media being controlling the media.
Yeah,
And
this website, Mr. Warnakulasuriya, just didn't merely, serious as it is, throw mud only at the judiciary.
No,
they threw mud, far and wide.
Yeah.
It was like a power shower with a wide reach, and I myself, I've been the subject to one of their stories. It suggested that members of the government in the previous government used my home in the UK to stop over. I don't think any senior member of the government has come anywhere close to where I live. But we ignored it. But that was just one thing. But there are many people whose reputations have been scarred and muddied. And this man is living outside of Sri Lanka. Has he got a Sri Lankan passport? Can't he just cancel it?
I believe he has a Sri Lankan passport. I believe he has tendered the Sri Lankan passport, applied for refugee status. And when you become a refugee, you cannot work anywhere.
I'm told they operate bank accounts in this country.
Besides, they operate bank accounts here, bank accounts abroad, and then they canvass advertising. I must say that when I was the
So that's a good point. They canvass for advertising. They've got advertising from the National Lotteries Board, and presumably they get paid. And there's an audit trail. Why can't we find out where those monies end up in which account, and who's the signatory to that account?
Now that's a very important question. But the problem is the person who sponsors them and uses that website to attack his opponents in the same party, in the UNP, is a powerful minister of this government. And there are one or two ministers who back this person. In fact, when the president said, President was supposed to have said this, made this very strong remarks in the cabinet, one minister has said, it may be treading on freedom of speech. Now, freedom of speech is freedom of not the freedom of wild ass. Now, you have freedom of the speech. Can you go and, on this channel, go on, deliberately attack people and attack their character, which they cannot do, because then, if that happens, you will be sued.
But obviously, as Mr. Obama said, that we should draw our districts, the people, to encourage politicians to cater to common sense. Where is the common sense?
The common sense is there. The people who advertise, people who sponsor these websites, very strange. Now, there are so many allegations against the present Minister of Finance. Whether it's true or not, we do not know, which appears in the local newspapers, about various matters, And those things we do not know whether it's true or not. But then there is not a single reference. That kind of thing that have been exposed, that have been made in this website. So it is a mask he uses, anybody who sponsors uses, to shield himself, and then, like the famous knights, use the armor and use the sword to kill his political, not opponents, his members of his own political party. Now, this is a tragic situation. That is why I thought, I feel as a citizen, as a member of the legal profession, I cannot wait to permit this man to continuously attack the judiciary. From the lowest magistrate or the primary court judge to the highest in the land, Supreme Court, all the judges, if they feel they would make any order, that is not helpful for their thinking, then the judges are attacked. Sometimes some of the judges I know, I have ever spoken a word to them because they are so reserved. They don't
they should be.
They are so well reserved, very difficult to even meet them in the chambers. They are so well composed, and they project absolute equanimity, and you feel that you can do justice. Now see what happened to Shiran Gunaratna, the man whom the bar unanimously, everyone accepts one of the most honorable, decent judges we have. Not the others, not honorable. But you can't even suggest a misdemeanor. Now, he was attacked. Now, then also magistrates, the Gangoda magistrate court, the chief magistrate, and Supreme Court judges, then the Court of Appeal judges, they are simply slandered. I mean, the kind of language they use for us, it's also bordering on filth. If you go to Maria Kada and if you see two women fighting like those days, now even they use better language than this. So are we going to permit this? So it is up to the President, up to Mr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa, and up to the government, up to the cabinet, bring in legislation which makes them accountable and even expand the computer crimes ordinance so that all these matters could be brought in. Already the law is there, already the law has been passed, brought in, so that we will be in a position, the public will have a safeguard. At least they can make a complaint. Now, no one can make any complaint.
What is the British? Have you approached the British authorities about this?
Yeah. In fact, a friend of mine who was trying to file action for defamation, in UK, and they found that this person is uploading this not from England, from another country. So therefore, the question of jurisdiction comes in. And so when the laws were framed, defamation laws were framed, criminal defamation laws were framed, this internet was never there.
Does this chap have assets in this country?
I don't know. I have not examined that, whether they have assets or not. But the reason is that this person is a head of the, I say the mafiosi, head of the mafia of websites who are being paid by people in this country who extorts money from the people of this country and keep on attacking the judges, the politicians,
yes,
even normal people, even ordinary people.
Now, Mr. Warnakulasuriya, on a practical note, where are these people, these cyber security experts? Where are they? Can't you hire their services?
Yeah, we are in fact
at least in the overriding national
interest. I believe the President is now striving to meet all these experts. In fact, the Sri Lankan police, the CID, have got 4 or 5 experts. They are very good. They are very good. I say that if they really pushed into this, all these people could be brought to book. Now, you see the Facebook. I was appalled to read the description of a politician's wife, the relationship she had with a young boy. The graphic details of the sex act was given there. And the unfortunate thing is, now this is being read by not only by you and me, by young children. How can I prevent my children from reading this, because they are on the telephone? So if pornography permitted, so if pornography.
So what's the what's the bar association doing about it?
Absolutely, that's a very good question I was asking. Bar association is also, I believe, it's very sad situation for us. Now we expected, I remember as a long-standing member of the association, one of the longest serving members of the Bar Council, we pushed at that time to make Lakshman Kadaragama President of the Bar Association when he returned from abroad. And I was really interested in making him such a versatile man. But the bar, some of the racist elements of the bar prevented that from happening. Then another gentleman, I don't know whether you know him, Faraz, the President's Council. He was interested in becoming the Deputy President of the Bar Association. They did not permit. Then when Jeffrey Adagaratnam was contest, we were all happy. We thought, as the majority community, we must pay our debt to the Tamils in this country who had done a yeoman service for the profession. Chief Justice Sri Pavan, one of the best Chief Justices we had after GPS Silva. So, and then there are so many people who have contributed to the legal profession. And we were very happy when Jeff Araratnam became the president, but he was the first Tamil to become the president. But unfortunately, he is the worst president we have had. I sadly say. He became a tool of the Lanka News. When I brought this matter, I thought before I go to court, I must bring this matter before the Bar Council. I brought this. He is asking me for evidence. Surely, Faraz, the whole country knows what appears in this website. If there's mud, if there's abuse, if there's filth, they read that. So it's very it's obvious. Then I was surprised to find out that this, I must show this to the viewers. I must show this to the viewers. Now this is a copy of the Lanka E-News, dated, I think, dated 7th of June 2016. Now Faraz, if you look at this, though it's in Sinhala, it's about a letter the Bar Association had written to the Chief Justice complaining about Mr. Kanishka Vijayaratna, Magistrate Gangodavida. Now, how did this letter, now if there was a complaint against Mr. Vijayaratna, that is a very private complaint, that should have been forwarded to the Chief Justice under confidential cover. Now, how did this go to Lanka E-News? Obviously, the president or someone in the Bar Association would have given this to Lanka E-News, and they published, and every single sentence that is contained is absolutely false, found to be false. And I was thinking, when this matter, then I was thinking, if they were supporting, they gave information to Lanka News, how could we trust the present administration to file any action against Lanka News or any other website? Then there was another incident when Shiran Gunaratna telephone was tapped. I brought this to the notice of the Bar Association. I wrote letters. What did the Bar Association do? Bar Association didn't ask me whether I had appeared for him, appeared for the client in that particular case. Now, I'm appalled to state this as a lawyer. My professional dealings with the client has nothing to do with the judge. The judge has been attacked. Judge's telephone has been tapped by this government. Then that matter must be taken up by the Bar Association at the highest level. Bar Association, but the Bar Association, that they have not got an official complaint.
So should we disband this Bar Association? Should we just
I believe, fortunately, his period is coming to an end. I think I must go into, that day I'm going to light firecrackers. He's going to end, because we must understand there are two other previous presidents. We had the people like Dr. H.W. Jawardena, H.L. De Silva, President's Council, and Desmond Fernando. After that, Vijayadasa Rajapaksa, the President Minister of Justice, I must say that he was able to get the entire bar, nearly 3,000 members, to oppose the impeachment of Shirani Bandaranaike. That was the very major step. He was bold enough, though he was shot at. Then Mr. Upul Jayasuriya the person who succeeded him. Now, very interesting story. Upul Jayasuriya, they went after...
You got 30 seconds.
Yeah. But Upul Jayasuriya, I pleaded with him to come. He became the president of the Bar Association, and he did the yeoman service. He was a man who opposed various draconian measures of Mahinda Rajapaksa, which we all supported. So therefore, we have no politics. Bar has no politics. We must be independent. We do not protect the judiciary. If we do not stand rally around them, who is going to protect them? Where are we going to practice? Are we going to practice before...
It's an essential component of democracy.
Democracy. Are we going to practice before Lanka, editor of Lanka News? So therefore, I believe the very major step we have taken. There was also the young lawyer who agreed with the petitioner. We have filed 14 cases. The Supreme Court has decided that there was sufficient contempt in the material that we presented. They issued notice. Now that is very important.
Can he be tried in absentia?
Yeah, he can. He could. I believe he could be.
Right.
Right.
Well, you're doing some great yeoman service.
Thank you, Faraz.
On behalf of the people, really.
That's right.
And we are ashamed. I am ashamed to hear what you say about the Bar Association, and I'm very happy and glad and fortunate that we have people like you who are taking up these causes at some personal and professional risk even. But then that's the way the cookie crumbles, isn't it? And Piro, good luck, and do keep at it.
Thank you,
because
Faraz.
the people are most certainly behind you. Everybody has their reputations to safeguard and protect, and it can't be sort of muddied by yellow journalism, whether it be on the internet or the newspapers. I wanted to touch on criminal defamation, but we've run out of time. But
another day,
on another day.
Before the 3rd of March, we have time.
Indeed, indeed. And always remember that the March 12th declaration. Think before you vote. But first of all, they have to call an election. On that note, Hemantha Warnakulasuriya, thank you very much for being on Newsline. Thank you, and have a great day ahead. Take care, and God bless.